Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Very good. We can start now. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha. Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Lakshmi Hayodana Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha. So, I wanted to probably try to take a overview strategy just to say the highlights of what this Anyer Devatas issue is. But as I started preparing for the lecture, I found out that this is a very powerful, very difficult subject. And it's better to do some justice. So I'm going to take most of this class for this particular subject of Anyer Devata issue. How do we deal with Anyer Devatas? And we'll go step by step and see what we can do. Okay. The slides are not moving. Let me see what is happening. Okay. So first we should understand something fundamental. Let's think about how did we come to know about temples, Lord, God, and all those things. So when we grew up, our parents basically probably pushed us and dragged us into temples. That may be a possibility. Or somehow we just got to temples, right? And we certainly were introduced to deities, Krishna, Rama, Lakshmi, Nrsimha, Vamana, Hayagriva. Some people are directly introduced to Shiva, Parvati, Skanda, Ganesha, and all those kind of deities. So what they basically do is the older people, let's say, okay, they show a shape. Oh, this person is having a Trishula and he has Jata, he is Shiva. This person has got Gade, Shankha, Chakra, he is Vishnu. So we associate shape and then to a particular form, and then we say, okay, this is a Devata. But what we don't realize is who has seen this Devatas? All we see is a temple with a deity there, and people call that deity some Devata, and then we accept it. That's how it works, right? And we grow up and we start studying about it and we get confused, and now we ask this kind of question, what do you think about Anyer Devata, right? How does the Vedas and Upanishads talk about God? Kena Upanishad says, Kene hitam patati preshitam manaha, Kena prana pratamam praiti yuktaha, Kene hitam vacham imam vadanti, chakshushrotro kaudevo yunakti. Why are we talking about Kena Upanishad here? There, it gives a different view of God because it wants to relate. Why do I have to believe in a God? Why do I have to believe in a Devata? That is addressed straight in Kena Upanishad. It doesn't talk about form. It doesn't talk about Shankha, Chakra, Shula, Gada, Veil. Nothing it talks about. It says, what makes your mind understand objects? The mind itself is unknown in the sense that, oh, where is mind? We just talk about mind. Oh, my mind is not here. All those things we say, but we just don't know what mind is. But what makes the mind work? What makes the mind understand the objects? Kena prana pratamam praitiyuktaha. When the child is born, how does it start breathing? How does it take the first breath? Kene shitam vacham imam badanti. How do people speak? What power makes us speak? How do our eyes perceive objects? How does our ear hear? We can just say, oh, technically, oh, there's a diaphragm, sound vibrations cause, the diaphragm to vibrate, and you get the sound. Oh, it's very simple, right? How do we perceive the sound? The diaphragm is external, and I am internal. And how do I perceive that sound? What makes this conscious understanding of the sound? That's where God comes into picture. So Kena Upanishad explains God as real. We experience it every moment. The moment we open up our eyes, we know God is working because we ourselves cannot perceive all those things. We didn't design this auditory system, optical system, nothing we designed. Nor did we design this consciousness which perceives everything. All these things are done by Brahman, who ensouls and who is all-pervading entity here. That's how the Vedas define the power behind everything here. Right? Now let's first we talked about a form, right? When we were little, when we were young, they showed us a particular form and say, oh, this is Krishna. This form is Narasimha. This form is somebody else. So what is this form and formlessness? We don't seem to understand what is formless, but can something be formless? Look at the waves, electromagnetic waves, formless. Gravity, formless. So in energy, we see around us a lot of things without form. We see things with form. Even in the Vedas, Brahman is explained in terms of form. Chandogya Upanishad says, Athayo antaraditye hiranmaya purushaha drishyate hiranyashmashruhu hiranyakeshaha apranakhat sarvayeva suvarnaha tasya yatha kapyasam pundarikam iva akshini tasyodeti nama. This is a famous Chandogya passage. It says about a divine golden-hued person who is that Brahman. Vedas also talk about Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. All these things is Brahman. He's all-pervading. Ya Atma Sarvantarha, he's inside everything. Even our famous Sukta says, Etcha kinchit jagat yasmin drishyate shruyate piva antar bahishchatat sarvam vyapya narayana sthitaha. He's inside and outside everything. Everything works because of him. Etasya aksharasya prashasane gargi surya chandramaso vidrito tishtataha. Because of the rule, the command of this akshara, the sun, moon, stars, and everything are in their orbits and acting the way they are acting. So God is real, we can see, and God, Brahman is explained as with form and without form. Both are real. Did form come first or did formless come first? So usually the bhakti schools will say, oh, Krishna is the form and all this formless is his divine effulgence. This is a typical way ISKCON people explain Brahman as the effulgence of Krishna, because they want Krishna to be the formed one to be the primary, that is fundamental, and the formless is just his effulgence, his all-pervading effulgence. So that's the way they want to explain. But if you think about it, the very fact something has a form is a limitation, right? Form is chiseled, and so this is exactly how the form is. That means form is limited. Formless is unlimited. So by very definition, technically, scientifically, formless is the one which is fundamental, and form which comes later. Why does the form come? That's a different question. He has an eternal form, they say. Some people say form is only for being closer to a upasaka or a devotee. To appear in front of a devotee, form is necessary. So we have this, Vedas fundamentally talks about formlessness and also form. Puranas and Itihasas, they talk more about a form because they want people to understand something which is concrete. It's easier for people to understand, perceive, communicate. And some people are so obsessed with form, they don't want to even consider formless as even real. So Paramatma is Amurta and Murta. Amurta means without a form. Murta means with a form. KSV once said that a great Pandit came to him. KSV said, look, Amurta means formless, Murta is with form. Then the Pandita asked him, Shankha Chakra, why can't we have Shankha Chakra in the Amurta form also? Shankha Chakra, why should be only on the Murta aspect of Parabrahman? Why can't Amurta Brahman also have Shankha Chakra? The very fact that Amurta means formless, how can you bring a Shankha Chakra there? No, you cannot. But KSV was making a joke that even great Pandits are making mistake that Amurta does not mean that it has Shankha Chakra. Amurta is non-recognizable, non-understandable. Jyoti Rupa probably some kind of a Jyoti or bright light kind of a view. ISKCON is also very powerful. Chaitanya Sampradaya says form is fundamental, right? And they definitely try to argue a lot about, formless is all. They confuse formlessness to Nirguna Brahman many times. I've fundamentally known this. Formless does not mean it is Nirguna. Nirguna means gunas are not there. No characteristics whatsoever, no attributes whatsoever. But formless could have gunas. So that we need to understand. In fact, for Christians and Muslims, God is formless, but he is full of gunas, all merciful, all kind, considerate. All these gunas are there for Parabrahman, for them. But Brahman himself is formless for them, Semitic religions in general. So now we are slowly coming to the topic of Devatas. You can't define Devata without defining the Brahman, because Devatas are angas or parts of Brahman. So we talk about Vaikuntha. Right? So a Nithya form or an eternal form has to be in the Vaikuntha. So yeah, okay, he's all capable and he can be there. There is no issue about it. But what is Vaikuntha? Vaikuntha means no limitation. If you say no limitation, can you assume anything? Can you imagine a wonderful, bubbly, a new world of the Loka or something, and Sriman Narayana is sleeping there, Mahalakshmi is there, the Nityasuri is there. These are all conceptions based on Puranas and other Anubhavas also. Maybe Alvars really experience like that. And Ramanuja.org talks about Vaikuntha Gadya. They might have experienced all these things. I'm not belittling anything there. But what I'm saying is formless is different. Vaikuntha, that means without limitation, means something which is not imaginable that easily. Our minds do not understand it properly, at least mine. So where is this Vaikuntha? It is in our hearts, it's Dharakasha. Dahram Vipapmam, Parameshma Bhutam, Tatra Paraveshma Bhutam, Yatpundarikam Puramadhyastam, Tatrapi Dahram, Gaganam Vishokaha, Tasmin Yadantaha, Tad Upasitavyam. They say there is, it's in the heart, there is Dharakasha. In that Dharakasha, that Brahman has to be meditated upon. One thing very good, very important to understand is, many people talk about Vaikuntha and they show it up to the sky, say, oh, Vaikuntha is up there. And if Earth is spherical, and if this guy shows Vaikuntha is up there, and the guy in South Pole says Vaikuntha is up there, so Vaikuntha is all over the place. So Vaikuntha, just they show it to the Akasha, so Vaikuntha is there. See, this is a conception. Really speaking, what I have heard from Sri KSV, my guru, is that Vaikuntha is right within our body. Viraja is right within our body. And advanced yogis and realized souls can realize that Vaikuntha right here. That is what my guru said. I'm just telling the way it is. So Deho Devalaya Proktaha, Dehesmin, Dehe Dehi Janardanaha. So the body itself is the temple of the Lord. So God is within. He can be realized within. This is a standard view of the yoga. I've just indicated this book right off from the Google search, which talks about the different chakras in our body and how Lord is there within. And in fact, this is what gives our even Vaishnavas who talk about the Pannendu Tirunamam, that is 12 namas. They talk about Paramatma Vishnu in different forms. Keshava, Narayana, Madhava, Govinda, Achyuta, Ananta. All these are gods within our body. They are deities within our body who can be realized. And this nama is supposed to indicate that the presence of the Lord within us. So now, let us talk about who started talking about Devatas first. Devatas came in the Vedas and Smritis, right? And let's try to understand the chronology here. Vedas obviously were the earliest. They were there 4,500 BCE. Prior to that properly, they don't even know when the Vedas came into existence. Some people say about 15,000-20,000 years before. That's what Agnihotra Ramanuja.org says. And those Vedas talk about different Devatas. Indra, Varuna, Rudra, and all these Devatas they talk about. In fact, in the Vedic Kala, Indra himself was the ruler of everything. Indra had no specific location like a heaven, Swarga, and they're only there and he has to fall down. All these things were not there in the Vedika concept. In the older Vedika concept, Indra was identical to Parabrahman, actually. So that was very interesting. But later on in the Smriti Purana era, these Puranas were written. There was like lots of Puranas, even Satvika Puranas, Tamasa Puranas, Rajasa Puranas, Puranas which extol Mahavishnu, Puranas which extol Shiva, Skanda, and different Devi Bhagavata. All these different Puranas were written. They've done a wonderful job to confuse everyone and make everyone mad almost. So the different Purana Kartas have done all these things. Why have they done so many different Puranas, giving priorities? And Shiva Purana says Shiva is the highest, Vishnu Purana says Vishnu is the highest, and the same Vyasa wrote all of them. My God, this is a wonderful concoction to make everyone a madcap, right? Then came the Kavya age. Kavya age means Kalidasa, Ashwagosha, Magha, Dandi. All these people wrote Kavyas based on Puranas and many, many other ideologies. Vyakhyana age came there later. Vyakhyana is to explain what Vedanta means, what Upanishad means, what Puranas mean, what everything, to write a Vyakhyana. Acharyas came, there is Shankaracharya, Kumarila Bhatta, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, between 800 Christian era to 1400 Christian era. The modern era is this confused age what we are living in, from 1400 Christian era to the present. Right? So there are so many things about how do we interpret the Vedas, or it has to be interpreted using Puranas and Itihasas. Fine. Then how can Puranas have so much of confusion? Vedas can bring so much of confusion. In Puranas, allegories and real events are mixed up with each other. We talked about it earlier. The Gajendra Moksha is an allegory. Puranjana story is an allegory. It's mixed up with real historic, itihasic, information, right? So all these things occur in the Vedas and Smritis. So let's talk about Devatas. In Vedas, the Vedas are, let's take Vedas an actual science. In a science, you do an experiment. You add these chemicals and create a new chemical, or something like that. If you add these kind of elements and create an atom bomb, they are like practical experiments. Similarly, in the Vedas, there are experiments. Vedas deal with information which is beyond the pratyaksha pramana, that is beyond perception, what we can understand using perception, using our indriyas, and what we can understand using anumana. Anumana is by, what do you call, because I see smoke here, there should be fire. So you infer things. Through inference, you understand knowledge. So direct cognition, pratyaksha, that is sensory perception, and anumana. Using this, you see scientific knowledge and all our knowledge come from this method, but something which is beyond pratyaksha pramana, alaukika. Alaukika means that which is other than sensory perception and inferential knowledge. Sixth sense, some kind of a sixth sense. For example, consciousness comes under alaukika because mind and intellect or anything cannot understand this consciousness very well. That's what Vedas talk about. So Vedas also talk about ishta prapti, anishta parihara. That means you can achieve something. Suppose you don't have rain. I have to create rain. Then you can do a yaga and create rain. You can do swarga. I have to go to swarga, and then you can do a yaga and go to swarga. During the olden times, those people had the capacity to do yajna yaga and achieve what they wanted. They even won wars. For example, Indra asked somebody to do a yagas to kill a Vritrasura. There's a very famous yaga, which what do you call, where they talk about a yajna. Indra Shatru Vardhasva. That's the same famous statement in the Vedas, right? So these are methods to directly communicate with the Devatas. Devatas could be, the Devatas for rain, Indra being the Devata for rain, maybe Agni, maybe Varuna, maybe all these Devatas can be addressed and communicated via yajnas. That was the idea of the Vaidika yajna a long time back. We talked about Bhuhu earlier. Bhuhu is the world of the realm of understanding using pratyaksha or anumana. Whatever scientifically, whatever we understand life, that is Bhuhu. Bhuvaha means that when you control your mind, control your indriyas, focus properly, then you can see the pranas moving within our body, and the devatas are realized. Right within our body, different devatas can be realized, and that is known as adhibhuta, and that is known as bhuvaha. Suvaha is adhyatmam, there's atman within. That atma is all pervading atman we talk about as Brahman. We already covered this early, that's why I'm quickly trying to give you some overview to come to the subject of devatas. So we have shown this picture earlier. Bhuvaha means where one can see devatas. This is how some people see devatas using some kind of yoga. Some people do mantra siddhi. For example, Sri Vedanta Deshika focused and did tapas and japa on Garuda mantra. And then Sri Hayagriva, Garuda appeared and told him and gave him the Hayagriva mantra to go and realize Hayagriva. So that's how Sri Vedanta Deshika directly realized Hayagriva. So it is possible. Vedanta Deshika lived in the 13th century. Somebody today, somebody should be able to do some tapas, but none of us, at least me, are capable of doing any tapas. That's why we have lost the prayoga vijnana. We've lost the method, the method to achieve all these things. We just talk about it using theoretical ideas at this point, but people who have tried to do some tapas have got some actual realization that gives promise that reality, such a reality can be achieved. So Adhyatma is the one which is, we're talking about as the Atman which pervades everything. Modern view, that is modern writers, if you look at modern philosopher writers who talk about Vedas and all, they talk about Devatas as just personifications. It's like imaginary, just calling rain with a name called Indra, or Agni, or the fire with a name called Agni. So they think that they're just personification. It's just like language. That's not the truth. In fact, I was very influenced by modern writers, and I used to compare science and Bhagavata and found a lot of discrepancies between scientific theories and Bhagavata. And I thought Bhagavata was some kind of old literature written just like how maybe the Greeks wrote, or some kind of Mesopotamians, or even Egyptians wrote about some other worlds and other things like that. That's like old, basically some older people writing something and thinking about something, their imaginations. There's nothing real about it. So I myself looked at it and thought that all these things are just historical books or some mythological books with no reality. And I became an atheist for a year when I was about 30 years old. So all this can happen. So when you read Shastra, Shastra Jnanam Bahu Krishtam Buddhesh Chalana Karanam, when you read Shastra, you can get confused and sometimes lose hope or lose any faith in the Shastras completely. And most people follow the idea of Upadeshat, Harim Buddhva, Viramasva, Sarvakarmasu. Go to an Acharya and just trust in Sri Hari, and then devote yourself to Sri Hari, do your prapatya, totally surrender to the Sri Hari, and live happily without questioning anything, without even thinking about anything. This is a possibility. This is a safe option. Majority of the people take this option. But unfortunately, some people want to use their brain. They always think that, always think that, why can't my intellect perceive something? Why can't I understand this, get to the bottom of this, right? So many people like me will think that we want to understand it to the best of the extent, even though it is hard. In summary, Devatas are not mere anthropomorphism of natural forces. They are real and they can be realized. Devatas can be realized by yogis. So many yogis have realized it. Even today, they are available. Only the blind do not see. If they're willing to see, they can see. When I went through the phase of atheism, I studied a lot, and then I finally found some value in Kena Upanishad. It says, "Ayam loko nasti paraiti mani punah punar vasham apadyate me." The blind and the materially involved do not see the other worlds. Hence, they come under the spell of this Yama Pasha. Yama says to Nachiketa in Kena Upanishad, they come under the cycle of births and deaths again and again, and because they don't see the other world. It seems that one of my gurus has told that during Shraddha ceremonies to the Pitras, to the dead people, right, to their Pitras, a mature yogi can actually see the Devatas, Vasu, Rutra, Aditya, Swarupa Devatas, and he can even see Pitras taking their share of the yajna and then leaving. This is directly seen by yogis. One can ask, oh, have you seen this? Why are you creating stories? Have you lost your mind? You can ask me like that, or anybody can ask me like that. All we can say is this Prayoga Vijnana is there only with a few people today living. Only some people can realize this. Other people cannot know. So somebody has to start going towards meditation, going towards real tapas. Only then they will be able to see it. For example, I quoted YouTube of one interesting person called Sri Yam. Sri Yam is a Muslim by birth, and he's a yogi, and he teaches Kriya Yoga. He's alive. You can see his lectures on YouTube. He is very real. He clearly says, I have seen Nagas and different Naga-like people of different kinds, Devatas or Nagas and things like that. He has seen. So it's possible, and only rare among people can get to that level of perfection of dhyana to do tapas or to realize Devatas and other entities. Now come the Anyer Devata issue. This is what we are talking about. This is, we just, after 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe, we are now coming to the introduction to the subject. What is this Anyer Devata issue? We grew up in different environments, right? Many of us in Shiva Vaishnava tradition, we want young people get their prapatti done. And when they surrender themselves to Sriman Narayana, Acharya says, don't go to Anyer Devata temples, don't go to other Devata, Shiva, Rudra, Pashupati, whatever other Devata, Murugan, the Ganesha, Ambika, all these Devatas, never go there. Even Navagraha, don't go there. You are committing a major blunder. You will not go to Vaikuntha, your property is cancelled as of that point, and you are gone. That's how Acharyas say. That will put an end to any research on this topic. Most people will stop right there. Say, I don't want to mess with it. Maybe I won't understand even if I try. Why try? 95% of the people, I'm sure, will give up. And they will just follow what their Acharya said. What they're doing is perfect, because everybody should do what is comfortable for them to do. If they're comfortable to do something, just do. We should not take anybody's idea. So in fact, you can forget about what I talk here. Take what you can understand, follow your heart, follow your acharyas. One of my own acharyas is to say, look, I avoid Anyer Devatas completely. In fact, when I was a student, I used to take a 20-kilometer route around the city to get to my college, that is Pathashala, to study Sanskrit philosophy and Vedanta, because there was a Shiva temple in the direct route. And the direct route, it was a shorter 9-kilometer or 8-kilometer route, but I wouldn't take there because I had to pass through a Shiva temple. I've seen my own Acharya talk about this like this. There is some truth to this. There is some value in all these things. It's not a scare tactic. So let's see why. What does prapatti mean? It's sincere devotion, surrender to a particular deity. And in Shiva Vaishnavism, the prapatti is done to Sriman Narayana. So it is a promise, it is an oath taken, and one should follow it for their own good. I grew up with this idea in my mind all my life, about 30, 40 years, maybe 45 years or even more. But my mind said, I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to understand whatever it is, what the truth is, beyond what I know now. So I started questioning this very seriously. Fundamentally, I thought that if somebody grew up in the North Pole, like an Eskimo, and Eskimo had an Eskimo god, that person, because of the birth, he will never go to a higher level or something, because he can only go to the level of Eskimo god, and there ends the matter. Or if somebody is born in Polynesia, there is no, some Polynesian forest god is there, and what happens to that person? How can God be so partial to some people who are born in some communities and be so impartial to people in China or in Japan or in some other place where they grow up with a different, different Devata system? So this bothered me a lot. So that's why I tried to ask some people. And I can tell you right off the back that I don't understand what I'm researching into that perfectly. I have to admit it. Why? Everybody is like this. This small story Sri K.S.V. tells us about Paulomi. Somebody was listening to some Puranas, and there, Pulomaja, Paulomi, somebody said Pulomaja and Paulomi. Oh, suddenly this guy asked him, well, who is Paulomi? What is Paulomi? Who is Pulomaja? Oh, you don't know Paulomi? He said, no, I don't know. You know Indra? Of course I know Indra. Indra's wife is Paulomi. Oh, I know Indra and Indrani, Paulomi, everybody I know now. What does it mean? I have not seen Indra. I have not seen Paulomi. I have not seen nothing. But we just take words and assume that we know it all. This is a typical problem everybody has, and I am one of them. That's why I'm saying that I'm not able to understand beyond a particular level, but I will try to understand what I have done. I've done some research. Nothing. I didn't do the research. I asked other people who have done research, and I'm just summarizing this for you. That's all. Coming to minor devatas, some people worship Navagrahas. I know of some people who would do only Shani Aradhana, Shani Puja, and nothing else. And some people even goes to minor what do you call devatas like Baghala Mukhi, Indrani. Baghala Mukhi is supposed to be Indrani is one of the servants or something. And that Baghala Mukhi is a great what do you call deity many people pray to. So all over the place, you find thousands of deities. You, in fact, what do you call, pray to, some people pray to deities like Pratyangira. Pratyangira is supposed to be a person, a female deity who fought Vishnu deities because she comes from a Shaiva kind of a system. All these devatas are all over the place. But the major sects are Shaivism, Vaishnavism, Ganapatyas, Kaumaras, and Shaktas. These are the major sects in India. So, in the Purana, in the Vedic Kalas, Indra, Rudra, Varuna, and all were there. They started fading into the background. And in the modern times, Vishnu, Shiva, Lakshmi, Durga, Ganesha, Murugan, all these deities started become more important to people. But even today, when they do Shraddha and Pitru, Amavasya, Shraddha and all those things, they do talk about Vasu, Rudra, Aditya and all. They have to invoke Vasu, Rudra, Aditya and those kind of deities. So that's there in practice too. And we know that. Now let's take a quick summary of what Bhagavad Gita talks about. Bhagavad Gita talks about Devatas in general. We know in the 3rd chapter, Chaturmukha Brahma created the yajnas, and they said, oh people, you using the yajnas please the Devatas, and Devatas will give you rain, food, and everything. And it is a symbiosis. You support each other, and Devatas will protect you. You do your yajnas, and you offer oblations. If you don't offer your oblations, you're a thief. You're stealing from the divine system because nothing is yours. You don't own the fields. You don't own the agriculture. You don't own the crops. The crops are created by sun. The crops the sun makes the crops grow. The food is paid by the system. You are just a part of this divine food cycle, which was given to you. It started before you were born. So you have to keep the cycle going and be thankful to Devatas who are giving you all these things. So this was said in the 3rd chapter. Then later on in the 4th chapter, suddenly this thing came up as, using yajnas, the Devatas, different Devatas are pleased, the same Krishna said, oh, you have to do yajnas and you have to please Indra and all these Devatas. And the same Krishna says, oh, Indra and other Devatas may give you very quick results, but there are some issues there. So Krishna himself put some doubts. People who want quick results may just go after Indra. And quick results are obtained if you go to Indra and all, that's fine, right? Says, who are these Devatas? They are powers in this universe. And that power is powered by the Atman, the main Parabrahman. And these powers are responsible for our indriyas, like our eyes to function, ears to function and all. Our consciousness, intelligence, everything are powered by these devatas. That's what we know till now. Again, Krishna says, Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sohridam Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Mam Shantim Richati. I am the eater, enjoyer of all the yajnas and tapas, all contemplations, all tapas you do, all yajnas you do, everything comes to me only. I am the friend of everyone. Knowing me, you will get peace. That's what Lord Krishna says. Further, in the chapter 7, Krishna says, Kamaistaiste hritagnyanaha prapadyante Anyer Devataha. Because of their own personal selfish desires, they go and resort, surrender to other devatas. Tam tam niyamamastaya prakritya niyata swayam. Oh, but I have established these devatas. They work for me. Lord Krishna is the boss, right? He says, all these devatas work for me. I, in fact, gave them the job. I made them stay, and then they will do their job. And so if somebody does propitiation of Indra, Indra will give you what he asked for. And in fact, Krishna doesn't even come and does his his own personal PR. Or he doesn't go do why are you praying to Indra? He will not say that. He will in fact make sure Indra and his devotees are very happy with each other. He will increase the faith. Sataya Shraddhaya Yukta Tasya Aradhanamihate. So his faith in Indra increases and he becomes more devoted. Labhate cha tatah kaman mayaiva bhitan hitan. So Indra will give all the whatever the person asks, the devotee asks, because I have established Indra in that position. All the devatas were established by me. I put them to work. But antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavat yalpamedhasam. These devatas can only give you limited fruits. Devan devayejo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. The devotees of the devatas go and reach these devatas. Once the devotion is complete, Indra will be very happy, and then these people reach the Indraloka, and Indra Sayujya, they become probably one with Indra in a way. And what happens next? See, what Krishna says is, people don't know who I am. I am the power behind everything. They think that I'm an ordinary person who was born in the cowherd shed among all these Yadavas. They don't understand that I am the power behind the entire universe and all the universes. So people who don't know will have issues. Let's say, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mahamanusmara Yudhecha. Very clearly, Lord Krishna says, pray to me. Think about me every time, always. It says that. He says that. Let's get to the center.
Krishna, 1 second. Can I please interrupt?
Yes, sure.
So this is very good. Actually, give me 1 minute. Yeah, so this is very good. I was just thinking this, whatever you said definitely makes sense. Whoever seeks the Anyer Devatas, they will benefit the blessings of Anyer Devata. But eventually we don't realize that it is the Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, who is the power behind all of this, the real engine behind, who is driving all of these things. So why does this happen? Why do some people affiliate to some Anyer Devatas, whereas some other go deep and associate themselves with Bhagavan with the intent to get moksham? Why is this happening? Because all of us are under karma. All of us have to do karma. We are born to do karma. Why is it some people affiliate with only the Anyer Devatas versus why somebody really goes behind Paramatma? That is a general question I had.
Okay, very good question. Very good question. See, the thing is, think about if there are 7 billion people, there are 7 billion goals. Each one of us are unique. We have sattva, rajas, tamo gunas, right? And each one has their own percentage of sattva, rajas, tamo gunas. And those gunas are constantly changing, right? In our own life, our sattva, rajas, tamo gunas are not exactly constant. It changes like the weather in the morning is different from weather in the afternoon, the evening, right? Every moment, our gunas change. So we start getting attractions to little things. Why do people get attracted to movies, for example? We're not talking about devatas and highest devatas, smaller devata. Useless movies they watch, good movies they watch. Everyone, they watch all the, they spend 2.5 hours seeing this stupid movie, but they love it. Because our gunas are really horrible. We cannot fool ourselves. We cannot just say, put Pannendu Thiruman, you have Thiruman all over and say, I'm the best, most virtuous, most pious, most wonderful person on earth. You cannot say that. Mind goes into all kinds of, if we analyze all our dreams and all the things we think and then we put them as public, YouTube videos, people will go and shoot at all these things. They say, oh,
so it is again some combination of the gunas that will drive us or attract us or detract us.
From the different devatas or Mahavishnu. Some people want immediate results, some people want long-term results. And so our gunas are very, very vicious, cunning. We fall for the mess all the time. Right. You think about Prabhupada ISKCON, it's a very powerful thing what they brought about. They just said, you have 2 or 3 vices. Wine, intoxicants, obviously bodily pleasures, and wealth and other things. You should leave all these things. That's what the ISKCON says. They give fundamental principles. But why are they so fundamental? Because out of 7 billion people, how many monks are there who have never gotten married, never got into samsara, or even who are married and got into becoming a sannyasi? How many sannyasis are there? How many people who are pure sannyasis? There may be many people who wear a saffron cloth and say, I'm also a sannyasi, and then they can do whatever they want. And no. So those kind of stories, right? So many we are talking about.
Yeah.
That is why we are at a very low level. We have to understand at every moment we have to win over our senses and get to a higher level. It's hard.
Very hard. Yes.
Okay.
Agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
ये अन्य देवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धान्विताः तेपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्ति अभिधिपूर्वकम्. Those devotees who pray to the other devatas and do yajnas with great interest, they also are actually praying to me. Their devotion is actually to me, but they don't know it. They are doing all those kind of yajnas and worship and everything without knowing it. Avidhi purvakam, in the wrong way. So when somebody says Indra Yasvaha, Agni Yasvaha, and all, people should be thinking, I am actually offering to the Lord who is the Antaryami of the Indra. I am offering this to Agni's Antaryami, that Lord. But we should use the same term, Agni, Indra, and all. Agni, Indra, they are all devatas. You have to use those terms. Through them, you have to worship the Antaryami. People are not doing it. People are, they are thinking that Indra itself is the real goal. I only want to please Indra. Agni is the real goal. I only want to please Agni. That is the mistake they are doing. They don't understand the limitation of that and the final Yajna Bhokta, which is the Lord himself. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natumam abhijananti tattvena ataha chyavanti te. I am the recipient. I am the final goal of all yajnas. I am the experiencer of the offerings given in the yajna, and I am the Lord. I create the yajnas. I make everything happen. I make all the devatas work. I am the power behind the devatas. Natumam abhijananti. They don't know this. They don't know the reality here. They don't know the truth. Tattvena ataha chyavanti te. That is why they fall down. That is their problem. What is the problem of because of this ignorance? That they didn't understand exactly the nature of the devatas they were praying to. Yanti deva vrata devan. So they have to reach Indra. Once they have to do the yajnas, they have to reach Indra. For maybe millions of years, they are stuck in the heavens and having problems. They are coming back. They are into different cycles. they're stuck. Pitruvritas, those who do yajnas on the Pitras, they have to go there and come back. Bhutani yanti bhutejyaha, ghosts and goblins and all this yakshas and rakshasas, whom if they pray to them, they have to go there, spend a lot of time, janmas, maybe in different lives there, right? So it will take a longer time for them to reach the inner control, the power behind everybody. Now, this is the introduction given by the Bhagavad Gita and the Devatas. Now we very clearly know where Devatas stand here. But think about the Nayanmars and Alvars. Alvars talked about, they use similar terms, and Alvars sang about Mahavishnu. The Shaiva Nayanmars realize Shiva. They are not just ordinary people, they're great bhaktas. They use similar words. In fact, many people say, Manikya Vachakar and other people, their words are all very similar to what the Alvar's words are. Then how do we talk about, what happened? How did some became Nayanmars and some became their devotees, some kings supported Nayanmars and those kings and all these people became Shaivas, Shivaji, Chhatrapati Shivaji and all these people, right? And some people supported different other devotees, like the Kali devotees, and they become Shaktas. So all these things have happened. That is because people cannot select where they are born. They are, due to karmas, they are born. According to family tradition, they follow their tradition. But even Nayanmars never thought that they were praying to Shiva, who is lower in any way. They were only praying to Shiva, thinking that he is Parabrahman. He is everything. So some people think that way, some people have that view, and they are only praying to Parabrahman. So let them do it. Nobody, none of this Nayanmar said, okay, Shiva is inferior, I'm going to pray to him. No. They had full faith that he is Brahman himself. Then it's no problem. Whatever yo yam yam tanum bhakta shraddhaya architam icchati. Let them, they will get the highest benefit if they have the idea that the object of meditation is the highest. So Shaivas call the same highest entity as Sadashiva. Parvati Pati Shiva is different for them. Sadashiva is the highest for them. That's fine. And Sadashiva is identical to Narayana. Narayana is what we call in the Shastras, even Smartha Sannyasis, even if they wear Vibhuti. Look at all the Smartha Sannyasis, Kanchika Makoti Pitam, whether it is Advaita Sannyasa, Shankaracharyas, talk to anyone. At the end, if they write a letter, last they say, Iti Narayana Smritihi, they write. Because in the Vedas, it is established Narayana is the highest. They understand it. All the other acharyas understand it. But because of the family tradition, Panchayatana Puja, where Shiva, Ambika, Ganesha, all these people, all these are used. Even in Panchayatana Puja, they cannot have focus on 5 different deities. They will have a central. So in the Panchayatana Puja, Vishnu Panchayatana Puja is there. Vishnu is the center, and then other deities are there as a Parivara Devata. Shiva Panchayatana Puja, the Shiva is the main deity, and the other are the Parivara Devata. They still have focus on one deity. Now, in the Vedas, see, now we come to a higher level. The Vedas give you jnana, right? Vedas provide you jnana. In the olden times, a stone was worshipped like Amman. The stone was just kept in the wild forest or something, and everybody would say that is Amman, and they used to pray for it. As long as the devotee thinks that stone represents the highest, he will get the benefit, because Brahman is everywhere. Brahman is Antaryami in the stone. So our Vaidika Shastra is very, very unbiased, brilliant, universal, can be applied anywhere, wherever you are. The Shastra work is very powerful. It applies very well. So that is why it says in the Vedas, in some, I could not find this particular Ativadyasmi iti bruyat. I could not find it somewhere in Sanat Kumara Narada dialogue. What it means is, if a person is praying to a particular deity, he should think that that deity is the highest. Otherwise, bhakti he will not get. Parvati cannot be praying to, in one of the Puranas, Parvati is praying to Shiva, right? She can't be praying to Shiva saying, oh, somebody is better than Shiva, but I still pray to Shiva. No. She has to pray in a particular way. She has to give maximum value for the deity. Even somebody says, oh, why are you praying to your lower deity and making a big deal about it? Then that in the Vedas says, Ativadyasmi iti bruyat. But I am thinking that this is the highest. Whatever I am praying to is the highest. It doesn't matter. With this view, if that person does, everything works. So let's summarize a little bit, okay? Vaidika karmas require worship of all devatas like Indra, Varuna, Rudra. Yes, we have to do, and we have to do it in the right way. Okay? And we have to think that Antaryami is Sriman Narayana. We should not put down any Anyer Devata, because putting down Anyer Devata is like talking ill, disrespecting the arms and limbs of the Bhagavan, Lord himself, which is actually an aparadha. Anga, Anyanya, Devata, Aha, all the devatas are Anga of the Brahman. Each person can worship their own Ishta Devata, that is by their nature. Nobody can write a general rule and say, all people, only in probably Islam they do it. La ilaha illallah, and they say that there is no God other than this God. Well, that is their bhakti. We should just, even in Bhagavad Gita, it says, what do you call, Daivi Shesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Lord Krishna says, only who surrenders to me goes beyond Maya. So then they can also say, oh, you are all very fanatics. This fanaticism is important. In Islam, being fanatic is very good, because that will strengthen their bhakti in that, whatever they call Allah, Lord. Yes. So fanaticism is allowed in bhakti.
So then the question that will come, Krishna, is who is the, because this is what my brother asked me some time back. God is one, reality is one. Why do you say Narayana is the highest? How do you say that? Even a Muslim will say Allah is the highest. How will you?
Doesn't matter.
You
see, different languages may have Narayana is identical to Allah. That's all. As simple as that. Paper. If you say you can say this paper. They can pay paper in Kagaz in Hindi, paper in English. Does it make any difference? Speech has its own way of saying it, right? Speech has its limitations.
No, it is not also about speech. It is also about the concept itself, right?
No.
Because then the question can come, why not pray Allah? Why Narayana? The question will come. It is again your own faith.
See, what do you call, both are same. See, you have to take the words out and come to the object. What object is there? Even in the Allah, he is the one. If you look at the surahs, forget about some fanatical surahs. I'm not talking about fanatical portions of that. Every literature has some fanatical portions. Okay, leave them out. The Sufi song Chand Tare Na Tha, when there was no stars, there was no earth, no sun, no this one. Allah was the only thing. Same thing. The Shastra says, Eko Havai Narayana Asitena Brahmane Shanahane Me Vidyuto Chantatak. All these things that say same, there are similar sentences. Language. See, do you understand a fundamental concept I told? You have to separate out between language, object, and experience. There's a spoon of sugar. Sugar is language. The object itself is a crystal itself, is the real object. Experiencing, when you taste it, it's experience. These three are separate. but our language will confuse, we will mix everything up. You are confusing with the words and the object and the experience, everything. So there is no doubt, as long as you can think beyond the box, think beyond the box, right?
Correct.
You understand that fundamentally we are becoming fanatic because of some reasons. And fanatic is also a safety, because you don't go out of the way and you don't lose your mind, right?
Okay, thanks.
For Vaishnavas, it's better to meditate on Mahavishnu. For them, let them meditate on what they want. Let them meditate on Allah, meditate on, it doesn't matter.
Correct.
Shaivas meditate on Shiva, that's fine. We are talking about Vaidika Devatas. That is why we are now restricting it to these Devatas. It doesn't matter which is Christian God or Islam God.
Correct.
It is like, Christian God only created Israel and couple of lands. A Hindu God created Indra, not China, by the way, India and maybe Ceylon, a little portion of Ceylon, because Buddha created half Ceylon. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
In fact, you have asked a very good question. Here, all we should know is Vedas say Brahman, Atman, that is God. That is the highest, that is beyond form, formless, beyond stage, all pervading. That is why we have to talk about infinity, all ever present, all pervading. Because this is impossible to understand, we cannot do puja. But very, very high level of yogis can directly perceive that. Now, Sri KSV once had a talk with, let me ask you, now it's almost 1 hour. Can I take a few more minutes today itself and finish it, or should I?
Yeah. No. You go ahead. You please go ahead.
What about the others? What about the others? Can I take more time? I need about 15, 20 minutes time.
Yeah, please take.
Okay. Sri KSV said, when he was about just 30 years old, he went to meet Kanchi Paramacharya in Chennai. He was invited for a Vidvat Goshti, Sadas. They talked about Advaita, Advaita, Vishtadvaita for 3-4 days. It was a very powerful talk, and Kanchi Paramacharya really liked KSV, and he gave him a gold medal saying that you are a Pandita Ratna. I am so amazed at your all-encompassing knowledge. At the end, he asked Sri KSV, but still, one thing, Brahman is okay, Atman is okay, but when it comes to Shaiva, Vaishnava, when the form comes, there's a big problem about people. They always fight. Vaishnavas don't like Shaiva, Shaivas don't like Vaishnava. They always separate out, and there's a big fight, and I don't know when it's going to end. Sri Kesvi said, people have to think beyond form, beyond, then only they will understand, because God is beyond form. Then he said, when they do yoga, your consciousness raises from within, and it goes to Bhru Yugatita Drishti, that is, it goes beyond the middle of the center of the eyebrows. And there, when the yogi sees, all he sees is light. What is Shiva? Oh, Shiva has got a Shula and all those things. If you take Shula away from Shiva, and if you take Shankha and Chakra away from Krishna or Vishnu, what is remaining is Atman. We are using this form as the basis for the all-pervading Lord. Form is easy to worship, so we're using form. Actually, what is real is the all-pervading form within. And he said, if everybody can raise their consciousness to the level of Bhru Yugatita Drishti, they will only see it as Jyoti, Param Shudare. Even Alvar says Param Shudare, Param Jyoti. So then it comes to reality, it comes to, yes, that is it. That is everything. They perceive everything as is. People have to get to that level. Then there will be no problem.
But what is your view with Ramanuja's Vaikuntha Gadyam, where he explains the very Swarupa of Vaikuntha and Mahavishnu?
See, Vaikuntha
the ultimate reality for
Vaikuntha Gadyam is a Sampradayika Grantha. Gadyatraya is a Sampradayika Grantha. He says, you're already Vaishnavas. I will tell you how Vishnu Loka looks. This is my experience. His own experience of Vaikuntha, he says, there's nothing wrong in it. what do you call it? He is not ready. Ramanuja.org has made enough correct statements about Brahman and Na. Brahman is identical to Sriman Narayana. That's all. Fine. We'll come to that in a few sentences, because our Sampradayam, what is our Sampradayam? We will come to that in a few shlokas. In fact, you just gave the introduction to Tattva Mukta Kalapa of Vedanta Deshika. In the Nayaka Sara, he talks about this. The Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara, Trika Samadhigata, what is all these things? He talks about it. So the safe ways, particularly for the Prapannas who have surrendered themselves to Sriman Narayana, you should consider all other devatas as anga, associates of the same deity. That yes, there is a problem with this when you go to daily practice in Ahavala Madam or in Andavan Ashram or in even any Tengalai Madam or anything like that, doesn't matter. They don't mix devatas. They don't put also Shiva in there and everything, and then they don't do it, right? Because in one of the families I know in Florida, they said that somebody grandfather had bought a shula and he had put the shula inside the Saligrama box. And that became a combination. They always started worshipping together. The kids didn't know why it came, because he had some kind of an experience of some skanda, muruga or something like that, and he put the shula there. But the young kids didn't understand it. So they started having their own problems. So the way practice works is purely Pancharatra Agama. They follow where Vishnu is on Vishnu and his Parivara Devatas like Garudman, Hanuman, and the other Devatas are only worshipped. Like the Shaiva Agamas will only talk about Ganesha, Parvati, and all these Shaiva deities. So we have traditions which have come long way. And for the Prapannas, going to Vishnu temples is the safe way. There is no confusion. It's safer that way. But if people know that main deity is Sriman Narayana and the other are Parivara Devatas, it doesn't matter at all. For a mature person, it doesn't matter. Some people are so narrow-minded. Pativrata, they give this Pativrata analogy. A wife should be only associated, faithful to the husband only. Mere to Giridhar Gopal and no dusaro na koi, they say. But that does not give the right to the person to kick the husband's relatives out of the building. Husband's relatives are also, you should have respect for other devatas because they are related to Sriman Narayana. Ekadevata Nishta is, the essence is when you do meditation, when you do any puja and you worship, having one deity in front of you, Ekadevata Nishta, it's very important because our mind is very fickle. You cannot focus on 5 different deities. You have to have one. Only a jnani can think about everything and you can see Perumal in everything around him. Or a mature person can do it. If I say mature person, oh, everybody will think, oh, I am mature. Because of ego, we promote ourselves to be a jnani. Without even anybody giving us the certificate, we sort of have that idea, right? That is the powerful ego in us. So in essence, if you look at the Vaidika Granthas, many people can have different deities and worship the same Atman, Parabrahman, Sadashiva, Sriman Narayana, Atman. In all these deities, they can worship if they know how to do it. They have done it. In the Vedika Kalas, Indra directly meant Parabrahman. In Indram, Mitram, Varunamagni, Mahuratho, Divyaha, Saso, Parno, Garutman, Ekam, Sadvipra, Bahudavadan, Tyagnim, Yamamma, Tarishvana, Mahuhu. I don't know the swaras properly. It is Rigveda. I just said something. Please excuse me. My swaras are not correct here. What it says is, Rigveda says, the same Brahman was called, addressed by different names, Indra, Mitra, Varuna, Agni, Garuda, with the beautiful wings. Agni, Yama, Matarishva, everything addressed to the same Lord Brahman. That is why in our Sandhyamanda, Imammaya, Varunashtu, Dehava, Madhyacha, Madaya, all these things, addressed to Varuna is a Parabrahman there. Even in the Upanishad, Agnenaya Supatha Raye Asman, that Agni refers to Parabrahman, Sriman Narayana. Okay. Now comes the idea of Trimurtis. A few more minutes on Trimurtis. That is, Vedanta Deshika takes up in Tattva Mukta Kalapa, Nayakasara, verse 159. Ekam Treda Vibhaktam. He gives 7 options. It is even more confusing than you can imagine. Some people think that one Brahman is broken into 3. Some people is because everybody has to account for Srishti Sthiti Laya, right? That's how in the whole universe you always see this creation, sustenance, and destruction. For everything we see our lives, birth, growing and being there and then dying. Like that, you see this all the time. So they have to account for 3 entities: Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. So some people, our Sampradaya says Vishnu among these 3, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Vishnu is the real Parabrahman. Brahma and Shiva are born. They are Jivas, Srijyas. They are the ones which are being created, like the other Jivas. And in our Sampradaya, we say Satvika Puranas only talk about Mahavishnu. Rajasa Tamasa Puranas talk about the other Devatas. But this is not agreed to by other Shaivas. The Shaivas don't agree with it. They completely reverse it, turn it upside down, saying that Satvika Puranas are those one which worship Shiva. The rest of the Puranas are useless. They have different way of manipulating the statements this way, that way, and Vyasa has given them ample material in the Devi Bhagavata, in Shiva Purana, in Skanda Purana to change a lot of things. Okay, the same Vyasa has done all this thing. You can ask yourself, why did Vyasa did this tricky thing as to poison people? In one set of Puranas, say great things about Vishnu. In the other set of Puranas, in Shiva Purana, in Nataraja, it seems that there was he was from the up, top to bottom. Vishnu could not go down and find the feet of Shiva, and Chaturmukha Brahma could not go up and find the head of Nataraja. He is the highest deity. Let's talk about it. So Shiva Purana talks like that. Brahma Purana may talk differently. But the idea is the fanatism is given there so that those particular devotees who are interested in the Shiva can take them as the highest and have their devotion. Similarly, the Vaishnavas can take Vishnu as the center of their devotion. So the Puranas are given to every person with different gunas, and they cater to different devatas. So you should not make a decision based on those kind of Puranas. But Vishnu Purana is the highest according to different acharyas and sages and things like that. Vyasa himself supports this idea. Then they may say, oh, Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya, how can he not support? He being a form of Vishnu, he will not support Vishnu. What are you talking about? All this will come, and our Vedanta Deshika has considered all these options. There is Vyoma Atita Vada, that means that the Hara Vyoma is there, and beyond that is that Parabrahman. And Trimurti Atita Vada, it is Brahma, Vishnu, Parameshwara is there, but higher than is Atman and Brahman, and that is he is a higher level, and that Brahman is the real Brahman. They say that, right? But Vedanta Deshika arguing with looking at all the Shastras. In fact, our Dr. Yanasranatangacharya says, if you look at all the Shastras and evaluate, there is more voting, more votes for Mahavishnu rather than other devatas. So it is clear that everybody agrees that Mahavishnu is right. That is how Anantarangacharya said to me once. And Vedanta Deshika also looked at a lot of different Shastras, and he has come to a conclusion that Sriman Narayana is the Paratattva. And he is the same as Vishnu in the Trimurti. Trimurtyantara Vishnu. Trimurtyantara Vishnu is the highest. That's what he said. For this, even their what do you call the Shaivas don't stop here, right? They even call Veda Shastra Puranadhyaha Gneyaha Veshyavadhuriva. You should think of Veda Shastras and Puranas as prostitutes. They they talk about all, they sleep with all the devatas. They don't care. They're prostitutes. That's how the Shaivas talk about Veda Shastra and Puranas. Agamastu Shiva Proktaha Gneyaha Kulavadhuriva. Shaivagama, only Shiva, they say Shiva is the highest because they are Kulavadhu. They are actually Satvika, Pativrata Shiromanis. That's how the Shaivas talk about the Veda Shastra and Purana. All these are quoted right in Tattva-mukta Kalapa. Vedanteshika quotes all of them. He says that they can talk what they want to talk about. But if you look at all the Vedas, and particularly Subala Upanishad, which is Narayana as the highest. So there is no doubt that the Shastras and Vedas are the highest because they are natural, na buddhi prokta, na apaurushayas, never written by human beings. So that is the Sara. And Bhakti always involves Adivada. In the Bhakti, a higher deity is praised because their devotees have to get faith in that in that particular devotee. So Vedas are Jnana Pradhana, Bhakti Pradhanas are Agamas. So Shaiva Agamas will only commit to Shaiva. Pancharatra Agama will commit to Pancharatra. Vaikhanasa will commit to Vaikhanasa Agama. So Agamas have their own particular partiality towards certain deities. And that is not the final. The final is Vaidika, and the Mata is Shriman Narayanona. Muktido, Mukti Bhokya. That person who gives Mukti, Moksha, and he is enjoyed in the Moksha also. That is the Shiva Vaishnava position. So the beauty about the Vishnu word, Vishnu Vyapta. Vishnu means it's all pervading. So the Vishnu is applicable at the Devata level, at the Bhautika level, that is here in this universe, and the Adhyatmika level, that is why Vishnu Pada is the all-encompassing Pada, and that is why Vishnu is given the highest value, according to Shastra and Sampradaya in Shiva Vaishnava Sampradaya. So Vishnu within the Trimurti is the ultimate, is the answer here, is the final view of Vedanta Deshika. We are talking about Ramanuja Sampradaya here. There is another small fight I want to address, Krishna versus Narayana fight. This is a modern fight created by ISKCON and Chaitanya Sampradaya, sort of. Chaitanya Sampradaya is a little bit soft about it, but ISKCON has become very strong about it, saying that they use Gopala Tapani Upanishad, says Krishna is superior to Narayana. Madura is highest, Madhura Mathura Mandala, and they create this whole thing about why is that high? Because Madhurya Bhakti is the highest. The other Bhakti is the Seva Bhakti, Dasa Bhakti, or the Pati Prativrata Bhakti. They are all lower, but Madhurya Bhakti is the highest. Definitely, Alvars have enjoyed Madhurya Bhakti. Madhurya Bhakti is definitely high, very high. There is no doubt about it. Even Alvars use Naika Bhava to express their love to Lord. And that's a separate enjoyment. And Radha Krishna relationship is like that. It's Gopika and Krishna's relation is like that. There's nothing wrong in the ISKCON's way of fanatic adherence to Lord Krishna. There's nothing wrong. There is no difficulty here. It is not a fight. It is a personal choice. Ramanuja Sampradaya uses Vaidika and Pauranika and terms and things like that, where Krishna is not that mentioned. Vishnu is mentioned, Sriman Narayana is mentioned in all the Vaidika Granthas and Pauranika Granthas. Krishna is mentioned only in a few Granthas. The word Krishna is identical to Vishnu. Or else we will not be talking about Bhagavad Gita today, right? Bhagavad Gita is Krishna and Mahavishnu same. That is why Vedanta Deshika diplomatically puts it as Rama Radhadayascha Bhedena Vidyase. Devaki Danujastuna Devaki Danujastuna. There is I always forget this verse of Yadava Abhyudaya. Devaki is the mother of Krishna. Danujastuna is from the pillar Narasimha came. They are same. Rama Radha Descheva, Rama, that is Mahalakshmi, and Radha are same, but they are in different groups. Rashi Bhedena Vidya say they are just are in different groups. and pick your choice. Both are fine. They are not, there's not a fight really. So you don't pick up a fight with a ISKCON person again. You just say friends. Take hands and get out of there. Okay. Any questions? We've done a little bit extra today, but I could not stop. I thought it was a 30-minute talk. I hope this was useful and not a waste of time. Any questions?
Very good session, Krishna.
Very good, Krishna. Thank you.
So it's interesting that Priya Ramaswamy raised this question and she's quiet.
Sorry, it's too late for me. I'll post my question.
Okay. Any other question?
So Krishna, to summarize in a couple of sentences, you're saying meditate on the Parabrahman, and if you're a Saivite, if your family is a Saivite family, pray as Sadashiva. If you're a Vaishnavite family, pray as Narayana.
Yes.
But eventually you're praying to the Parabrahman.
Correct.
So
That's the best way to look at it. I don't believe in conversions.
Yeah. So Namalvar says, Avaravar Tamadamadu, Arivari Vagai Vagai, Avaravar Irayavar, Yanadi Adavargal, Avaravar Irayavar, Kuraivalar Irayavar.
Very well said. Very well said.
Yeah.
Obviously, Namayvar said it, and you brought it at the right time. That's very good, actually.
Yeah. He says, Kuraivalar Irayavar. There is no reduction, just because you're praying to Shiva, there's no reduction. Or for that matter, you can pray to Allah and there is still no reduction.
No reduction. Exactly. Yeah. See, only thing is, they just to see this whole question, some youngsters about like 20, 23 years old will come and become, no, what is wrong? Islam is nothing is wrong. Everybody is same Lord, right? Then you know already that that person is in love with a boy from Muslim community or something like that.
I asked the same question to Tridandi Chinnajiyar Swami. I asked him the very same question. I said the same thing, like, if somebody is not born in India, then that means they have no chance of going to moksha, right? And why is that? No amount of devotion they are doing is enough, because you are saying only praying to Lord Narayana takes you to moksha. And he did not answer the question directly. And later, a couple of years later, somebody asked Arya Singer the same question. And Arya Singer was very diplomatic. He said, you can say there is only one God. And then you can follow it up by saying that Lord is Sriman Narayana.
See, one thing, so Madhadipatis have a commitment to their system of thought and things like that. It's very hard for them to talk in a very different research-oriented way, Yeah. It's hard. Because their responsibilities, they can't confuse people. They have to push them in the right direction, what their system of thought allows them.
Correct. Yeah. No, but I think this is a very balanced approach. This way, nobody is wrong, everybody is right. And, the God will figure it out, right? I mean, like, you can go through any path, but you end up at the same summit.
Exactly.
Can I throw a stone in that that machine? To use a bad metaphor.
Yes.
The reason I say that is in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that one has to do your karma and then one has to have jnana. And the 4th chapter specifically deals with doing karma with jnana. So the people who will pray to these Anyer Devatas, all of us can pray to our own Ishta Devatas, but unless we actually follow it up with karma infused with jnana, we cannot reach that goal. And do you think just praying to any god will lead us there?
See, there are some in the Rahasya Trayasara, Lord Shri Vedanteshika says, Sapta Janma Shiva Bhaktas will get, after 7 janmas of being Shiva Bhakta, they will become Vishnu Bhaktas. So what it is there may these devatas themselves will eventually lead. For example, Indra Pratardhana Vidya, right? The Pratardhana went and meditated and worshipped Indra. After a long time, Indra appeared to him and said that, what do you want? Tell me what is best for human beings to achieve the best, he said. Then Mam Upasva, he said. That means Indra directed that Pratardhana to do upasana on his Antaryami. According to the Mam Upasana means the way the Acharya say it is Antaryami. So eventually the Devatas will lead you there. There is no problem in that sense. But instead of doing that, directly going to the Parabrahman and doing the Vaishnava method is safer, because many Shastras, like how Dr. Anantarangacharya said, this one, what do you call, Linga Bhuyastva. Linga Bhuyastva means many Shastras refer to Sriman Narayana, Purusha Sukta, Krishyate Lakshmesha Patyam, everything refer to Sriman Narayana. That is a safer way to do it. That's what Shri Vaishnavas have determined. The karma and jnana will follow. Whatever karma they do, whatever jnana they do, that will eventually end up in the right jnana and karma. They would get that. See, at the end of the day, anugraha has to come from within. The blessings have to come from within. The blessing is actually coming from the Parabrahman only, even if it comes through Indra or some other devatas. The only person, the real power is only the inner self. The other people can only be a postman delivering the messages and stuff like that. Right? Even
Okay.
devatas.
Yes, thank you.
Hope it is clear.
This is Hema. I have a question. What about people who don't have a concept of God? How do they reach God?
Okay, what do they see? See, the thing is, they have to go slowly, right? Some people don't have any concept of God. Then eventually, what do you call? They do what they do is they do say public service. They become just healthcare workers and help people, whatever it is, or they give alms to beggars. Ishta purtam, charity, yajna dana tapah karma, right? Dana, tapas, meditation, yajna, some sacrifice for anything. If they don't have any concept of that also, eventually they will boil down. After a couple of janmas, they will get the right, because the Lord within is watching constantly. And if you take one step, he comes 10 steps closer to you. So if that person gives something to a poor person, this person will give dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. He gives the buddhi yoga using which that person can achieve me. So eventually they will say, if the what do you call, the very beginning of Vedanta study, they say, right? Nastya kritah kritena kritena karmana paramatmana siddhyati அப்படின்னா எந்த ஆக்ஷன்லையும் பரமாத்மா கிடைக்கிறது இல்லை அப்படின்னு அவன் ரியலைஸ் ஆகிறான். அவனுக்கு வைராக்கியம் வருது. அந்த வைராக்கியம் வந்த மேல் கடைசியில ச குருமேவ ஆபிகச்சேத் சமித் பாணிகி, ஒரு வைராக்கியம் எனக்கு இந்த உலகத்துல in this world I am not happy with the amount of happiness or value from anything. I'm unhappy with everything I work for. It has only it gives me limited pleasures. Slowly the person will develop vairagya that here I cannot get what I really want. I want to go something beyond. He will reach a guru. The gurume abhigachet shotriyam brahmanishtam. He will end up in a very well-learned, knowledgeable, experienced Atmagyani guru. And that Atmagyani will give him the right path. He may reach the guru after reaching several other gurus in between. He might be, he might reach a person and that person may say, okay, I know only so much, I'll tell you, but the other person knows more. Like this, finally end up in the right guru. That's how everybody have to say, guru is the only, guru bena jaga andiyala, right? Guru, without a guru, it is all darkness. From the akshara, from the learning alphabets to learning some history or civics or some subject to learning shastra and everything, all these things occur through different gurus.
Okay,
Krishna,
thank you.
Krishna, the other thing to point out here is, like Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. So it takes hundreds of janmas. You could be a complete atheist now, and you could be a Hiranyakashipu now, but eventually it will turn around. It may take 100 janmas, 1,000 janmas, 10,000 janmas, we don't know.
Yes. Yes.
So there is no way of trying to get to God right now in this janma.
Very
I
difficult.
mean, maybe for somebody it's the last Janma and they could do it, but 99% of them, they cannot.
See, one should always touch and feel, right? As simple as that. Do whatever you have to do. At the end of the day, today, at this moment, are you Atmagyani? Are you completely beyond all the Arishad Vargas like jealousy, hatred, all the misgivings of the heart? Are you beyond any kind of ajnana? Once you know that, you know the answer. Am I there or no? I have made it or not made it. So anybody can test and feel, touch and pinch themselves and say where they are.
Mm. Thank you.
Namaskaram.
Thank you, Krishnaji. This is Radha. I had posed several questions, I think, that you explained. I will re-listen again. If there's anything, I'll text you. Thank you so much.
Please let me know.
Thank you.
This is, this the main notes I made and all. I've really taken it from a lot of acharyas. You think about it very seriously. There's answers to almost any question in this. That's why I took 1.5 hours today. Hopefully, this is of value.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Krishna.
Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha. Tomorrow, I think, is Narsimha Chaturdashi, right?
No, tomorrow is
Ekadashi.
Ekadashi.
Ekadashi, yeah.
But Narsimha Chaturdashi is also tomorrow?
How can Chaturdashi be on the same day, Krishna?
Well, it can't be, right? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm
No, it is the May 6th.
I'm mistaken.
May 6th.
Maybe a couple of days later then.
Yeah.
Okay. Namaskaram.
Namaskar.